Hi guys, welcome to Office Blokes React. I'm Office Bloke Dave.
I'm Office Bloke Mike.
Office Bloke Daz.
And collectively, we are the Office Blokes.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit disconcerted.
What's the difference?
I don't know if anyone can notice the difference, but...
Let me guess, you haven't got a water bottle. Or a dirty cup.
It's looking clean, isn't it?
Just a bit, yeah. Amazingly.
It's throwing me.
It took a couple of years.
I know, yeah, 2 years. Yeah.
Mike's been at work.
Yep. Drilling 4 holes. Anyway.
Takes a while.
Yeah, we are the Office Blokes, and we're just going to get into this one because we're just chatting pants. The top 10 craziest pets people actually own.
Used to be a guy who lived near me under cheetah.
I know. You said
Well,
about
is
that.
it cheetah or
It's-
a leopard? It was one of them fucking fast cats that chase you, eat you.
Yeah, you don't want that. You don't want that.
I mean, there's got to be people. Like, have you heard the stat that there's more tigers in captivity in Texas than there is in the wild?
Really? I've not heard that.
Wow, that's a stat.
Yeah.
Incredible. That
So
many?
like, yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So loads of people have got pet tigers, pet lions,
Yeah.
cheetahs. It's madness, isn't it?
Crazy.
Yeah. I guess we just get into it then. Top 10 craziest pets people actually own. Let's do it.
People spend billions every year on pets and pet accessories, but needless to say, a major part of that industry is dominated by dog and cat owners. But not everyone is satisfied with your run-of-the-mill house pets. In fact, some people choose to share their homes with some absolutely crazy animals. Today we're going to be taking a look at some of those crazy animals, as they are people who actually own many of these pets. With all that said and done, let's begin, shall we? Number 10. The Fox. Juniper is known as the happiest fox in the world, and it's no wonder why. Juniper is a viral sensation who has amassed nearly 3 million followers on Instagram. Jessica Coker of Florida got Juniper around 2016, and pretty soon she realized that she had to share the tiny sweetheart with the world, and today Juniper is one of the top 10 pets on Instagram. And in fact, she is the only one that isn't a traditional cat or a dog. If you are wondering about the challenges that Coker had faced raising Juniper, you might be surprised to learn that she may be one of the simplest pets on today's list. As it turns out, Juniper is what is known as a tame fox. This type of fox displays over 4,000 genetic differences when compared with wild foxes. And the differences are crucial in making Juniper
Dave's back garden.
There are no mattresses in
He's
my
been
back
working on
garden.
it. He's been working on it.
Working my bollocks off.
Gosh, have a fox as a pet. It'd be going through your bins and all sorts all the time, wouldn't it? Be a
I
pest.
think
just
it's
don't-
domesticated, isn't it?
Yeah, it's got to be, hasn't it?
Just seems I'm a bit freaked out by this, me.
They come from wolves, just like dogs do. So I guess over time can be domesticated.
Is that what the part of the dog family? I never even thought about it, to be honest.
Well, I don't think they're part of the bear
Cat
family.
family.
They look like dogs. They're very. That's the thing they're most similar to, isn't it?
I suppose
like
it
cats
is.
as well.
Yeah, I was thinking, I didn't know whether it's like a big cat, to be honest, but yeah, it probably is dogs, then, isn't it?
I've never even thought about it.
No, well, I've
Just
not.
a fox, innit?
Up until now, I've not even thought about
Boom,
it.
boom.
Yeah.
I quite like foxes. Just put
You
it
get
out
quite a
there.
lot around our way, but
You don't really get them near me.
screw anything. Do you not?
Seen
No.
one near where I live.
Right. There's always, honestly, there's loads around our way. They're always trotting around. They all live near the field where you used to play football for your school.
Oh yeah,
You know, down there.
Yeah.
Down that passage. That
In Woodside.
That dark passage near our house.
Oh, I know you know about that.
That's
dark
where they
passage.
live. They're all up there.
suitable house pet. The origin of the tame fox is a fairly grim one. These foxes are a genetic variant created to make it easier for fur farmers to keep them.
Oh.
They demand less space and are more docile, and tragically this means that a fox like Juniper is typically bound for a horrendous outcome. In Juniper's case, however, she was the runt of the litter, and wasn't specifically born for farming. The passive traits, however, are still very prominent in her, and Coker couldn't be happier to be her mama. Talking about her famous fox, she said, quote, "Every once in a while, life will throw you a gift. My gift just happened to have fur and fang-toothed grins." Surprisingly, Juniper isn't the only pet in the Coker house, and she definitely has a lot of willing playmates around, including a dog named Moose, a pair of sugar gliders named Peach and Petunia, and a younger male fox named Fig. Number 9.
She lives in a zoo. She doesn't know it.
You'd hate to go around there, wouldn't
Oh,
you?
I wouldn't go around.
I love the fact that she feels very blessed for this fox to have come in her life that's got 10 million followers on Instagram and probably earns her a couple $100 grand a year.
And rabies.
Dance for me, fox, dance.
She beats it with a stick and films it.
The Capybara.
What?
Melanie Tipaldo.
What even is that? I've never even heard that.
It's,
Is it like
it's
a
giant
massive
guinea-
hamster?
It's a giant guinea pig, isn't it?
Guinea pig.
They were on a video we reacted to yesterday. They showed one.
Yeah.
Like jumped in a swimming pool, I think it was.
Right.
They're just like giant guinea pigs, but they can be really aggressive.
Right, okay.
Weird one.
is a proud rodent owner, but her pet of choice isn't a mouse or a guinea pig. Instead, she spends many hours a day caring for her pet capybara named Gary. Capybaras are the world's largest rodent, and Gary weighed nearly 100 pounds. Capybaras are semi-aquatic, so Tipaldos keeps a large pool in her backyard to accommodate her big buddy. Tipaldos doesn't believe that her love for Gary is anything more than the love that most people would have for a dog or a cat. Not everybody sees it that way, however, and Tipaldos' love for Gary was the subject of a TLC show called My Crazy Obsession in 2012.
Yeah, there you go.
That's a little rude. Let people love their pets. Number 8. Owl. In several parts of the world, it is perfectly legal to keep a pet owl, and that is just what Mola's owners have done. But keeping an owl can have its fair share of challenges. For one, owls have very sharp talons and beaks. This means that they are very hard on fabrics and woodwork. While giant owls can live as long as 30 years, a smaller owl like Mola will likely live around 10. But her owners are very determined to make the most of every second, and so is Mola. While most owls are opposed to being pets, as there is very little precedent for it in their natural environment, Mola actually displays no objection to her owner's affection. Number 7.
Not sure about that one.
I'm not sure about any of them at the moment, mate.
Yeah.
There's lots of owls near me.
Is
That's
there?
for sure, yeah. Yeah, but I've done a hawk/owl experience at a place
did
before
you?
where
Right,
big hawks land on your arm.
I've done that with a
Yeah.
falcon.
Yes,
Have you?
Did falconry, yeah. I've been out with falconry.
Yeah.
What do you call them? Falconers.
falconers, I
Falcons,
guess.
I think. Yeah.
And they go up in a drone and they take like little chickens up.
Yeah.
They tie them to the drone, fly the drone up like that, and it's like on a thing that hangs. And then they'd let the falcon go, and the falcon like circles it like that, and then fucking swoops and boosh gone.
Wow.
Eats the fucking
Yeah.
chicken.
Yeah.
I think owls are quite cute, though.
It disconnects from the drone though. It's like when it gets it, the disconnection comes
Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
cord
Okay.
that they do, and they bring the drone back, hook another one up.
Yeah.
Another one goes up.
Ah.
I did a car boot sale years ago. You know, the one in Knutsford that's quite big, and some proper rough, scaly looking guys just walking through it with his hawk on his arm.
Kez.
All right, Kez.
Hey up, lad.
Hey up, lad.
Raccoon. In late 2014, Rosie Kemp of Nassau in the Bahamas became the owner of a rather unique pet. She was looking out her back window when one afternoon she saw a tiny 1-month-old raccoon fall out of her tree. The small creature was very weak and suffering from a broken hind leg. Fortunately for Kemp, she lives in the Bahamas, where it is perfectly legal to adopt a wild raccoon. Not one to interfere with nature, she waited patiently to see if the raccoon's mother would return for it. But after several hours, it was clear that the little guy was on his own out there. With all that cleared up, she simply had to do something. Kemp brought the tiny creature inside to nurse it back to health. She named him Pumpkin, and the pair have been inseparable ever since. Number 6.
It's making me itch, this man.
Well, you could,
Proper bothering me.
well, you could house train something like that, a raccoon, for its toilet duties.
I mean, it was on a bed,
it could
so
be
you'd
everywhere,
hope so.
couldn't it? Yeah, I'm not so sure.
Don't they have rabies as well?
I think the ones that have rabies, but I think the vast majority of them probably don't.
all have
The ones that
rabies.
don't.
Like, as much as I do love dogs and animals and stuff like that,
Yeah.
not on the bed, not in the bedroom.
No, keep them away.
Yeah,
Definitely.
it's just not. It's not the way, is it?
I just don't even get this.
You don't want to see the office bloke's capybara that I bought. It's getting delivered today.
Yeah.
Studio mascot.
Yeah.
wow.
The polar bear.
Fuck
No
off.
way.
Moss has
Come
a
off it.
big fluffy white pet named a Ghee. But this isn't an American Eskimo or a big old Persian. Actually, a Ghee is an 800-pound polar bear, one of the largest land carnivores currently
That's
in
true.
existence. While most of us are fascinated with these enormous beasts when they're at a distance, it's hard to say that they're more
Sounds
interesting
that.
when we're right up close to them where they can get us. However, Mark Dumas is not one of us. He adores his pet, and he actually
so he
starts
eats
his
him.
day every day with an ice-cold dip with his best pal, a Ghee. In addition to swimming, the pair also enjoy some lazy afternoon naps and friendly wrestling matches.
It's not your
which I'm pretty
friend.
sure a Ghee would actually win. Mark has been raising a Ghee for almost 30 years, and he remains the only person in the world who is known to have a closely bonded relationship with a polar bear. According to behavioral specialists, their very special relationship is more than unique, it's a true anomaly. This incredible connection has afforded Agee several experiences that most polar bears would never have, including being prominently featured in 4 movies. These movies are 1996's Alaska, Arctic Air in 2013, and the 2014 films Operation Arctic and The Journey Home.
So a movie of him in his natural habitat, and there he is being filmed in fucking Florida.
Yeah.
In a pool.
In a swimming pool and on the lawn.
Just has one bad day and swipe.
Yep. Well, funny you should say that, because last night when I got home, started reading the newspaper online, and a dog, an American pit bull, fucking bit the face off a kid. And it was 9 years old, the dog. And they've had it since a baby, since a puppy. And it was well behaved. And I thought, yeah, the kid's climbed on its back one day and thought, fuck it, I've had enough of you.
Yeah.
Bam, made a right mess in his face.
The thing is, when you're that much of a killer physically, your play fighting is not necessary. I mean, I'm not saying that dog was play fighting, but they're so strong.
Oh, of course.
No, that you were talking about, though. But it's so strong that even if it just climbs on you and just goes limp, you're dead.
Just locks his jaw on you. Your fucking arm's done.
Yeah.
Or wherever it bites you.
You're gone.
Finished.
So, who'd win in a fight? Polar bear, a gorilla?
Oh, polar bear, without a doubt.
I think
Do you
gorilla.
think so? I think gorillas just seem so strong.
Yeah.
I don't
Gorilla
know.
go stop rope off the tree and fucking dive down and like get in a headlock and all that. Wouldn't it? Like polar bear wouldn't know shit.
See some of those
like,
silverbacks and gee,
Yeah, they're massive.
Oh, they are pure muscle, aren't they? But
Absolutely, yeah.
Polar bears are only not pure muscle because they have to carry extra fat because of
True,
where they're
yeah.
supposed to live. So
Yeah.
I bet they're shredded under that coat.
Yeah, the gorilla could like, the gorilla could like pull shit and throw it at the polar bear from distances.
Yeah.
Don't
Gorillas are more intelligent than polar bears, I think. They'd be a smarter fighter.
don't gorillas pull
probably
your junk off when they're fighting you? Isn't that one of the things they do?
How much are you paying for it?
I'll talk about the same thing here.
Where
Alan.
are you going? Where are you going that you get pulled off during a fight?
It's one of the things they do. They rip the junk off the rival male.
Rip it
in the
off?
fight, yeah.
Oh, when you said pull it off.
No, not just stroke it.
Oh, right.
It's caress it.
Not in a nice way, then.
That's not the kind of fight I've had.
And that wasn't a real gorilla.
No.
Oh, but we have some bizarre conversations
I know,
here, really.
I know. Get out of there quick.
Halloween.
Needless to say, Agee isn't a great starter pet. In fact, before Agee, Dumas had raised several other exotic animals, including wolves, deers, and eagles. These days, Mark and Agee can be found up to their old tricks at their home in British Columbia, Canada. Number 5. The Kangaroo. Jackson O'Doherty is an Australian comedian with nearly 2
Gotta be a
million
comedian
followers
doing
on
that.
Facebook. But this funny man seriously loves his pet, a tiny red kangaroo named Damien. Together, the two of them have become social media stars as they document their many adventures, including stopping for gas, playing outside, and even building sandcastles. O'Doherty may not have the most vicious creature on this list, but he definitely has one of the more exotic pets that we've seen. Number 4.
I'm assuming that was a baby one.
I know
Mini
just
one.
a tiny one.
Didn't he say mini
Oh, did he?
kangaroo?
Ah,
yeah.
I
Kangaroo
missed
or
that
something.
one. Right.
Yeah.
I've not seen Mini one before.
I kind of get it as the comedy bit though, just
That's what it is. It's goofy comedy in it.
Yeah.
hopping along behind you and stuff. That's I get it, but still, it's like a guy who's got a cat, isn't it? That's not got a missus.
Oh,
It's
yes.
just weird.
An alligator.
Yeah.
Mary Thorne loves her pet Rambo with all of her heart, and she's had him for
It'll
well
kill
over a
you
decade.
if it's got the chance.
During that time, they've shared some
Why did she have a big stick between her and it if it's a pet and she loves it?
Yeah.
Look, a vacuum cleaner to me. Was it a
Four.
stick?
Does she vacuum it out?
An alligator. Mary Thorne loves her pet Rambo with all of her heart, and she's had him for well over a decade.
Just like it's some kind of vacuum cleaner.
It could be actually, yeah. But still, that doesn't look like a pet.
She can't be cuddling it, can she? Surely. Not an
That's what I want
alligator.
to see. I want to see her
Or
rolling on the
crocodile.
bed with it.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Let's see.
During that time, they've shared some pretty fun memories, including walks and dressing up in silly costumes.
That
No.
one time when
there's
he ripped
one
her arm
catch.
off.
You see, the Thorne's pet isn't a cat or dog, as I'm pretty sure you figured out at this point. In fact, Rambo is a 6'6" long alligator. Thorne got the gator when it was a little over a foot long. Rambo has a very rare skin sensitivity, which led to his owner finding an assortment of fun outfits for him. As time went on, the locals around Lakeland, Florida began to take notice of the odd pair. And before long, they were making appearances at schools
I'm
and
not sure that's
local
real, man.
events. It seems that Rambo was beloved by everyone who met him.
It's a good point.
It's not done a lot.
Tried to renew-
Do you think she's rolling out?
It's got the same fucking facial expression and everything looks rubber.
It's not moved much, has it?
It did walk at one point, but do you think she's rolling out a puppet? Like a toy one every time
Just
she
got her arm
press.
I've only seen one arm. I've only seen with one arm.
Oh shit! Forgot about Mike Swatsit.
You're right, though. I mean, they are expressionless creatures anyway, but that does look a little.
It was the next picture that just made it look rubber.
there. And before
There.
long, they were making appearances at schools and local events.
not
It
even
seemed
blinked.
that Rambo was beloved by everyone who met him. However, in 2016, when she tried to renew her license to own Rambo, she got quite a surprise. According to Florida Fish and
Oh, we got
Wildlife,
movement.
Rambo had grown too large for her property when he exceeded 6 feet. Unable to move to a larger property, it looked like Mary may have to give up her beloved gator. After months of grueling legal battles, though, Mary Thorne was finally allowed to keep Rambo, and
you
the two
quad
of
bike
them
with
are
you.
living happily
Yeah.
ever after. Especially
van.
in some silly outfits. Number 3.
That's craziness. That.
Again, I mean, that could just turn one day, couldn't it?
It's a
That just cries
dinosaur.
out, Look at me! Look at me!
It's a dinosaur. It's literally, it's going to eat your face at some point. There's no doubt
Yeah.
about it.
You couldn't trust it not to, could you? Let's face it.
I mean,
Not
she's
at all.
risking it, man. Pushing it right to her face like that as well.
Yeah, just a bit.
Well, it's probably the only thing that's going to come nearer, though. To be fair.
Swiftly moving.
Oh.
A grizzly bear.
Oh, fuck off.
Casey
Come on.
Anderson is a name that's very familiar to exotic animal enthusiasts.
I've seen that guy,
Anderson
actually.
rose to national attention when he adopted an orphaned grizzly bear cub named Brutus from an overcrowded wildlife park named Yellowstone Bear World. From there, he adopted more and more animals, including mountain lions, wolves, wolverines, and even more bears. In 2006, Anderson was the subject of a National Geographic documentary called Expedition Grizzly. However, Casey Anderson isn't the only one raising bears. Up over in New York State lives a couple named Jim and Susan Kowalczyk who have a rather unusual pet. Their pet's name
Sounds
is
done.
Jimbo, and he's 26 this year, and he happens to be a 680-pound grizzly bear who acts a lot more like a house cat than a vicious wild beast, at least according to the Kowalczyks. Jimbo is a big softie who likes cuddles when he's feeling blue. Now it's time for
Again, I mean,
Fuck that.
Practically
They're
everyone
huge.
everyone that owns a cat ends up with scratches all over their arms at some point, or the face.
Would you rather have?
yeah.
What was that dog called the other day? Hugo. That massive dog with Hulk.
Oh, Hulk.
yeah.
Hulk, that big dog leg in it. One of them bears.
Oh, jeez. I mean, you're
Not,
screwed. either
not one of
way,
those
aren't you?
bears.
You can't outrun either of them. I think I don't know.
Yeah.
You're not surviving either.
No.
If they want to kill you. Probably Hulk, just because he's smaller. He's probably a third of the size of that bear.
I think the bears with the claws as well, they could probably do you even more
They just
damage.
looked like he was positioning him to sort of like think, I don't know what I could eat him now, but I'll just give him another few weeks.
yeah.
Yeah,
Just like
anytime.
rolling him around.
Plump
like,
him up, just watching his owner get fatter and fatter.
Before he goes into hibernation, just take him with him for a bit of good food.
Do you know who Timothy Treadwell was?
No. What, when you say was, I'm assuming he looked after bears as well.
He used to have a bear as well, yeah.
He was. There's a documentary called The Grizzly Man about him, and he used to go.
Didn't
to,
we react to someone? Guy on here that did something like that.
I'm not sure. Maybe he cropped up on one of the videos we reacted to at some point. I think he did actually.
I think we reacted to someone with that name. Sounds familiar.
Well, he took his girlfriend up to, I don't know if it was Alaska or Canada somewhere, and he used to go and live with the grizzly bears, just go and camp out.
Yeah.
And this time he stayed too long, so it was too close to hibernation season, and took his girlfriend with him, and he had like an audio recorder going, or it might have been the video recorder with the lens cap on, but there's audio of him getting devoured by a grizzly
Really?
bear. Yeah.
But it was his pet.
It wasn't his pet, that's the point. I mean, he was a troubled guy. You could tell when you watch the documentary, it's really interesting. But they're not your friends. No. He thought they were his friends, but then I'm a little bit hungry and I've got to go and hibernate in a couple of weeks. Your food.
I wouldn't even be
that's
able to
it.
see them behind a fence, man. I'd be like, nah, too close.
Yeah. Yeah, the big things, aren't they? Huge.
Madness.
today's best pick. My top pick today might just be
Hyena.
one of the wildest creatures on today's list.
Has that been photoshopped?
Number
that?
2, the top pick.
Usually big hyenas, are
In
they?
Nigeria, man, I see people walking around with one.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
What, a lead or something?
Yeah, they like security. Like they got muzzles on them, but they're like all the gangsters using the drug dealers and shit.
Ah,
like
right,
that.
okay.
What are you doing hanging around with Nigerian
No, I'm
gangsters?
not. I just know some. I'm just on a mission.
He owes somebody a couple of quid.
We're collecting, Mike.
Classic.
Brian Hahn is a man willing to risk it all to have one of the world's most dangerous carnivores as a pal. Hyenas are probably one of the most recognizable African predators. While many people associate hyenas with scavengers, in fact only a small number of species are. The rest are pack-hunting carnivores. However, despite all this, Brian Hahn raised his very own pet hyena. From the day it was born, Hahn raised the hyena by hand and believed that it viewed him as a peer. Needless to say, one does not simply go out and purchase a hyena. In fact, Hahn acquired his illegally and had to raise it in secret. This might have been challenging enough on its own, but when he first got the animal, he lived on the 8th floor of a Miami Beach apartment building. Unlike striped hyena, spotted hyenas are extremely vicious predators, and that was exactly the species that Hahn wanted to own. But after a few months, the hyena, named Jake, simply got too big, and Hahn contacted...
I'm just going down to get something fucking in the elevator like that, and these fucking guys stood there with a hyena, like, just go like, door closed. Swerve it, mate, I'll take the stairs.
I know. Absolutely bizarre, isn't it?
I love it how there's two types. There's the spotted or the stripes or whatever it was. And he wanted the more dangerous of the two. He just had to own the more dangerous one. Why? What's he doing?
It's just an ego thing with these people, isn't it? He just think they can control like the most dangerous animals, don't they? And
I think that might be it.
It's a huge ego thing with them, isn't it?
Weirdos.
Yeah.
Miami Zoological Wildlife Association. But when he attempted to load the hyena into his carrier, an incident occurred that left him with a badly broken arm and a severe bite wound. Nonetheless, the transfer was complete into this...
An incident where he got a badly broken arm and a bite wound? You mean he got bit?
By
to pull his arm off.
Got attacked.
He continues to visit him regularly. Their connection is inspiring, even if most people don't understand it.
I saved the best for last, but first, I have a quick challenge that takes only 5 seconds to complete. If you can leave a like and subscribe within the next 5 seconds, you'll get 10 years of amazing luck. Just try it, it really works.
Number 1. Big cats. The idea of owning big cats definitely shouldn't be taken for granted, even though people have been doing it for years. The experience of owning one, coupled with the astounding number that are privately kept, truly makes this one of the craziest pets that people actually own. While some of the previous entries on today's list have been one-off or at least very rare instances with special circumstances, nearly 10,000 tigers are privately owned in the United States. When you compare that to the 4,000 currently in the wild, it paints kind of a shocking picture. Over the years, several big cat owners have become the focus of...
Wow.
So maybe it was the US, not just Texas, but
Yeah.
10,000 in captivity in the US and 4,000 in the wild.
Incredible.
That's just mind-boggling, that number, isn't it?
Why?
Just a bit.
That man's walking it round in like his living room, like no space, like round the couch and shit. These guys need like mega space.
Yeah, of course they do.
You know what I mean?
Hunt across plains like miles, like 10 square miles, and if not more, don't they? In
Yeah.
huge areas.
There's a deer sanctuary next door.
Yeah.
It's just nuts, isn't it?
media attention, including Umaid Al-Bakwaish of the United Arab Emirates. He is just one of the many collectors of exotic animals.
Not useless
and then you
next
have
to me.
people like Joe Exotic, who was the focus of the 2020 Netflix hit Tiger King. Given that these giant felines can weigh hundreds of pounds and are violent and agile predators, those raising them need to take special precautions and ensure that they are properly educated. But with so many felines being privately owned, many are kept in horrific conditions. One example is Ming, a 500-pound tiger who was forced to live in a tiny New York City apartment for well over a decade before she was released in a daring rescue operation. While many large cats are kept privately, it doesn't mean it's for everyone. Despite a price tag of around $1,500, anyone considering a tiger cub needs to remember that they will one day be a full-grown carnivore. Which of today's wild pets was your favorite? Which would you want to own? Which one would you never own? Let us know in the comment section down below.
I don't even know a dog. Goldfish.
I hope that person.
Draw me a line, not even a goldfish.
Oh, goldfish are terrible, honestly. Ugh.
I hope the person who had it in captivity for 10 years went to prison, though.
He's probably
That's
dead.
just abuse, isn't it?
No, it's absolutely disgusting, isn't it? Keeping any pet environment like that for that long, unless it's a goldfish.
You wouldn't even have a tiny little dog just locked away in an apartment,
No,
would you?
it shouldn't do. No, not at all.
I mean, you'd have to get it out like 2-3 times a day minimum.
Yeah, still need exercise and everything. But
Yeah.
like,
I could see you taking a fucking lion or whatever he was for a walk around New York.
Well, he's obviously
It's not a thing
is
you
he?
would see, though, to be fair.
You have to let us know,
Some
mate.
guy sat on the subway with a lion.
yeah.
And he said, you can't leave that lion there. He went, it's not a lion, it's a giraffe.
Oh,
That's
very good.
It's just crackers that. I'm surprised there wasn't like a ridiculously big python on there or something as well.
Yeah,
That's-
you usually see that's what you usually see.
And a
They're
common.
not-
It's exotic
They're
pet,
common.
but I was going to say probably a lot more common.
Yeah,
Snakes
true.
and stuff like that. But I mean, lions, bears, polar bears. I mean, it's just absolutely crazy.
Hyena.
Hyena. I mean, you just couldn't trust it, could you? At all. I mean,
Yeah, but they've got a special bond. You don't know. You weren't there.
that's
Look,
what
you came with the kids living with me.
They're going to eat you. Yeah, it's crackers that. Some people are I mean, if they want to take life into their hands, then everyone does it in their own way. But yeah, it's grim.
Yeah, keep away from everyone else away. Yeah,
Anyway,
not good.
hope you guys enjoyed that. Don't forget, like and subscribe, please. Hit the bell. We'll catch you on the next one.
Cheers. Guys.